feel like that's what you need to be going for.
Dark Seer.
There's the
Well,
combo.
there's the 3.
And they've already revealed their safe. I have to imagine it's their safe lane unless the monkey position 2 like you've been asking for comes out. But the Darkseer Nyx Assassin, no answer to the Purge. Meanwhile, in that laning phase, so at least monkey with a little bit of extra range feels okay. But this is now a solid way, and you're probably going to go into like a AoE like you were talking about with their position 5 as well to really get utilization out of the Darkseer. Like I wonder.
I mean, no answer yet though, but like none of the Darkseer counters have been banned. Like there's Bloodseeker available, there's Oracle, there's Enchantress. I mean, Invoker's gone, I guess. Okay, similar sort of thing, right? You're able to have extra armor against the Lycan units. You're able to slow down the push a little bit. The Nature's Grasp is going to be good at pushing out these waves, and you can tree walk. So as long as Monkey King isn't following after you, which, let's be honest, he probably is going to be, you at least can play in a little bit of safety. But this is along the lines with what I was thinking about, so I don't mind this at all.
5 seconds remaining.
What? So
even just getting the overgrowth on underneath a vac wall combo, right? You're going to be pretty susceptible to a lot of damage.
So you still feel like RNG can go for something like an Oracle or like an Enchantress and then put the Ogre in a different role just to help mitigate this Darkseer Nyx lane?
I mean, yeah, why not? Like, if you could just make a lane completely useless, then a Nyx might need to stick around a little bit longer in order to get true value out of it.
Well, the less track getting picked up from RNG at least gives them some magical damage, which they were definitely lacking, considering the Lycan and Monkey picked up. And it's kind of nice with the amplification. You don't think of Lesh as at least a right clicker, but the movement speed is definitely something you'll utilize very heavily from the Bloodlust and some way to help take towers early. The Lycan can have that, but also just to mainly group up. And
some of the bans being removed. I mean, you never want to face into a demonic purge when you've got this this Darkseer. Of course, the Oracle on top of that. I mean, Enchantress is still there, but it's not quite as strong. Like, it's still nice, of course, for the whole Zoo meta style of gaming.
Vici
it feels very one-dimensional, though. Not hating that Bristleback ban either, right? It's just all of these heroes that are able to deal with lane push from afar. Lena's gone, Coddle's gone, Puck's gone. Bristle, it's not from afar, but you are able to soak up a lot, and then if you eventually do go into the Aghanim Scepter, you're able to just stick around and quickly deal the damage out into these fights pretty quickly.
5 seconds
Wouldn't hate like a Void Spirit at all. Somewhere to get in, get out, utilize the Darkseer. I mean, also everyone clumping up together is nice because of your AoE damage. I'm just trying to think of another hero that can enable like a jump through that has a little bit of magic damage and that utilizes Darkseer.
Maybe?
Okay. Well, that's just, I guess that does
It's not a mid SB, is it?
Well, it might be.
You've come home already, have you?
Wow. Okay. Did you watch those games with Jabba playing the Spirit Breaker 2?
5 seconds
briefly. I saw more the later stages, if I'm being honest. Sure. So I didn't see how he like transitioned, but he went stuff like Echo Saber, Ags, Halberd, I believe. God, what else did you get on top of that? But basically, he was unkillable. That was the big issue, and you're just able to charge at all places of the map. Did he have a Shadow Blade as well? Not quite sure, but just constantly able to put pressure on other areas of the map. And LGD, when they played it, they took advantage of all that space that he created by just taking an objective, even though he might be the one to fall down. They're picking a Wind Ranger instead, so they're wanting to get that key pick off first before going into this lane push. And it's going to be on Felix, so a lot of responsibility being given over to him. If he's able to pick off, let's say, a Darkseer before the team fight starts, then things can go very quickly in RNG's favor.
How you feeling about this draft, though? Because, I mean, for me, it looks like Vici Gaming, yes, it's a little bit more experimental with the Spirit Breaker last pick for them, but it just feels like they have a lineup that seems, on paper, easier to execute, and just a lot of crowd control, team fight, the stuns are there, got a win condition and the troll, whereas RNG, you know, it feels like a little bit all over the place.
Do you feel like RNG's is hard to execute, though? Just pop your units and go. Just pop your edict and go, you know? Like, Are you that scared
I
of
don't think
fighting into it?
fights
I
look
don't think...
easy. Like I don't know how like
Maybe pushing high ground. That might be the hard part. But the first 20 minutes, I think, should be pretty easy for RNG. It's just how they're going to get out of that stage. Like, don't you feel they're lacking a bit of damage
on
on
Vici.
Vici Gaming side? Yeah, I certainly
Uh,
do.
I think that the damage will come through with how the off lane's going to go from Vici, and I don't see how they mitigated Darkseid Nyx lane, which is very strong. Maybe they can try or have early rotations from Felix, but I feel like at least whenever I see a lack of damage come through from like a Darkseid lineup, it's always on him to get levels, and if you have the position for have a good time and have like an early vendetta, then I think he and Spirit Breaker can get a lot of kills.
All right, so it sounds like you're going to go for Vici. I want to see another game 3, so I'm going to favor RNG just with this pure Death Bowl lineup. It's going to be on Felix, though. If he can get those pickoffs before the group up and push happens, then that's going to go a long way towards securing their victory.
Well, at least for RNG, they do get a staple D-Stones hero. You know, we've spoken about the Invoker. Now we get to see his Leshrac as well, someone that is still yet to be popularized, at least through the I-League Season 2. So we'll see, though, D-Stones back at home, back to comfort with the Fairy Pony. So we'll see how he's able to fare with this one. And you were saying that Vici Gaming, though, the kind of issues they're going to have through the first 20 minutes. What are the big things that RNG are looking to hit through that 20 minutes? Like, is it the Helm of the Overlord and then go, or is there some faster timings that they can hit?
Well, this time around, remember last time we saw the Leshrac, it was against Alina, right? And the lane was constantly being shoved in, so you weren't able to put points into the Diabolic Edict. I feel like this time around, D-Stones has the luxury to do that a bit more, because Spirit Breaker, he's not going to be able to do it to the same extent as Alina, of course. And so you've got that turnaround potential if he looks to dive in onto you, as well as a bit more tower pressure. So I feel like the timings are going to come pretty damn early, like around the Helm of the Dominator. Don't even need to wait for the Overlord to start getting active here around Flyby.
So then what do we have to keep tabs on for Vici on how they can defend the game? Because it does feel like a Tree Protector very heavily relies on keeping your tier 1 towers alive super early on, just so you can hold some heavy form of map control, which is prioritize keeping your jungle afloat, and then feels like naturally the economy lead will go from there with how many more camps you can farm. So how does there actually will be a big fight. Here we go. This is what I've been looking for. This God King, he's getting punched down here from the tree along with the Darks here, but luckily enough it'll be Felix to pick up first blood.
He used the mischief just in time to be able to dodge out the killing blow, at least giving first blood over to his team. But I mean, he's gone for the Jingu Mastery, pre-skilled before that fight. A little bit odd to skill that early into things, but I mean, I guess just valuing the fact that DY is going to be able to be a bit of a nuisance to him. We could see there's already a tri-lane kind of happening on this bottom side here with DY, PYW. Just off the mark with that Nature's Grasp there.
Interesting.
In the trees.
I wonder how long they're going to stick with this tri-lane. Maybe just to secure the early levels on the Darks here, and then look to put DY back up. And yeah, it looks like they're going to do that. So, I mean, Poyoyo the Trot Wallet is not an easy person to kind of outlane early on with how incredibly strong of a laning pairing he is.
With Old 11 as well. I mean, he's already been able to get multiple Ion Shell stacks. I liked where DY and PYW were positioning themselves, just way off to the left, wanting to harass out Red Panda, get the body block onto the small camp, and just give him that quick level 2. Let's see if he's able to do anything with it, because I mean, that's where the big threats are going to come. It still is quite a strong lane, especially once that level 3 gets hit for Old 11. And if he's able to get an early Aghanim Scepter picked up as well, then it's seriously going to enable this Spirit Breaker.
And do you
very lucky too, as Ori, with his 17% bash chances.
Do you feel like Ori's items are going to be any different to what we've seen Zhao 8 go for over in ESL?
I haven't been watching enough of that to be able to give an opinion, to be honest.
But you said it was the Echo Saber was kind of the after.
Halberd. I mean, Halberd is needed this game.
Sure.
It's such an insane item. All that evasion that you're going to be able to get against just Echo Saber for being able to double the chance of getting that first hit bash. Always going to be great. Going to make a bit of an aggressive play here onto Old 11. Actually cancelling out a big portion of that surge forward, so God King gets the return kill.
Nice try.
Great timing to go for that play as well, recognizing that PYW was trying to start pulling the waves, so they were down at least the support to help with Old 11 there. So a nice kill to pick up early with the Monkey King. We're still continuing to see how his laning presence has been shining every time we're seeing this hero played.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Wasn't able to grab onto that range creep though, was PYW, so that's going to put the lane a little bit of a disadvantage, given that you've given up. Actually, no, it did get in deny range, so if they're able to create the space back there, get Old 11 up to level 3, which he is, fresh use of the Ion Shell, and they should do just A-okay.
Meanwhile, this...
When are we going to see support Tinker? I kind of want to see it come out. I
Do
feel
you?
like it's a lot of value.
Do you? Like, I don't know, Tinker's like a... I feel like I've had too many games where I've been stomped by Tinker where I don't want to watch that hero.
Well, the reason why I like it... Sorry, there's a bit of a skirmish going on this bottom side. Able to get away just in time with the use of the Surge, but now needing to play defensive for the next 15 or so seconds. Like, just seeing how Red Panda's playing this, of course, with the Ignite, being able to hit it in onto 2 units. Kind of the same with the heat-seeking missile, right? It always lands onto 2, it doesn't push the lane at all, and you're able to deal a decent amount of harass. And then once you hit onto your level 6 and you get that rearm available, yes, you're going to be able to cast a lot more in team fights, you're going to do a lot more damage, but you can even look to be like a bit of a bottle farrier for the rest of your team. Like, you take 20 seconds just to pick up all the bottles on the map, go back to base, fill them, deliver them back, and then, you've basically done your job.
Have you seen any Tinker support so far, or like in different tournaments, or even just games that you've been watching?
I have, yeah. You're
Sorry,
able to get a lot of... In pubs I have, you're able to get a lot of farms, surprisingly. And again, like the heat-seeking missiles in lane, fantastic. As a support, you would think that maxing out the defense matrix is a pretty high priority, but...
Top lane. First rotation from Ori. And it feels like this has been... what they've been waiting for. Is because Flyby has been falling really low multiple times, but unfortunately one thing they weren't able to calculate is what a shackle latching could do to prevent their damage continuing forward.
That's the thing, though. You can make these rotations and then immediately just get back to the lane.
Old 11?
It's a long boy boundless, I think. But yeah, it's one of those things that you don't even need to wait for the boots of travel, right? You could just TP out to a lane and then get back in pretty quick succession. Oh no, are you lagging?
I was just praying it was just a stutter step. So D-Stones is having quite a free time mid. He has gone for a 2-2-1. So like you were saying, probably going to see a lot more emphasis on the Edict into the melee matchup, and this will allow him to put a lot more damage into these towers at an early stage as well. Bottom lane aggression continues, just at least God King doing what carriers should be doing, protecting their supports whenever they get going on.
And this time around, Vici, unless I didn't see any de-warding happening, they weren't able to block up this small camp. Luckily enough, able to not let D-Stones pick up that illusion rune. It's another death here onto Old 11.
Expecting competition.
Yeah,
Well, this is not the start that I was expecting. And what is he going into an orchid?
Echo Saber, baby, let's go!
I hate it. I feel like you need the Ion Shell. You know, they specifically banned out all these heroes that's going to be able to deal with the Ion Shell, and you want to have your Ags buffed up for a hero like the Troll or the Spirit Breaker that needs to be in the middle of these team fights dealing with... I mean, you've got a Monkey King and a Treant Protector and a Darkseer into heroes that do need to kind of group up in one place. But then again, you've also got the Monkey King and the Leshrac into what's pretty much a 5 melee hero lineup.
Yeah, already we're seeing God King have an incredible laning stage. So the only is his early game going well, but I feel like his late and mid game, I guess, is also going to go well too with how you said. I mean, they've got a lot of melee heroes, and how do you fight to the Wukongs? Is
Radiant's
Ori
top tower is under
swing on
attack.
down.
You gotta chain stun them up, basically. That's it. You know, you still do have that little bit of a wind up, so maybe they could use the get a little bit of luck out of Lord Gaben with Ori with the bashes. Of course, the Nether Strike. You can get the Overgrowth off, and maybe get him to be standing around casting the Wukongs a few times and being useless. But it's a lot of things that gotta go right.
And it feels like for Ori, this Spirit Breaker, it's not a hero that can keep up in farm, and it's really showing the net worth. I mean, he's only got 38 at the moment. He needs to be getting these kills, and I mean, he's charging back down to bot, and but these kills are not going to come through there. He's got no Iron Shell, so that's he's
No
not
Iron
hitting
Shell,
creeps.
No support's helping you. PYW at least is going to be able to secure some of the experience in the mid lane, but yeah, I just don't. This isn't the time to be experimenting with this, essentially. And from what I've seen, he hasn't been playing it all that much in pubs either.
I'll make an attempt. This time Ori has the Iron Shell, and the haste is about to expire as well. They wait for the permanent lockdown to come through, getting full utilization out of the charge, but with these stones showing up, just that little bit of time wasted there sticking around is going to cost them as these stones finds a double. And they might look to put some pressure on the tier 1 tower mid as well with the next round of the
Dire's
Edict.
middle tower is under attack.
Why not? You know, you just got the double kill. You were able to pick up more farm than the enemy team. Tumbler's Toy for Leshrac. What more could you possibly want? Even getting a nice little bottle refill from Felix as he comes back out to the lane.
Well, Poyo's gone for a Maelstrom here, so it looks like he wants to not go the full greed with this Battle Fury, but they've got big issues right now with how RNG just played the early game to perfection. 2,000 net worth lead, and with the Lycan has the Helm the Dominator completed as well, so I'd like to see, once these stones refills the resources, him head to top and try and utilize that first shapeshift. In fact, they're going to try and utilize it now, but Flyby does have a mark on his head right now. With Ori charging in 4, they're going to try and force the battle trance as early as possible, and while Poyo just completely kited, and unfortunately the life steal is not going to be enough to keep the life, so he'll tick out to the ignite, and I mean, this is Ori fighting without the Iron Shell, so he's also just going to charge in brute force to his demise, and well, D-Stone shows up with the freshly completed Boots of Travel, and now this tower also falls as well to underneath the destruction of Vici.
Try and chase down DY a little bit here. Going to be off the mark. Maybe getting to the vision. No, it's nighttime, so weren't able to get a glimpse of him there as he walked through the trees. He's going to do his best to be able to try and protect this top tower, but only 2 points so far in the living armor. I don't think it's going to be enough.
Look, I really did not expect this bottom lane to go as atrociously as it did. Old 11 is going to Echo Saber, so
There's
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that. I really did not think a Monkey and Ogre would have had the strong lane that they did. I mean, it's great pairing, but I thought Darkseer and Nyx could have a bit decent of a time. They're going to try and make another attempt here top lane. Who do you want to start on? PYW, great way to deal with the Leshrac, but even better prioritization from Red Panda's Fire Blast means that there's no stun lockdown, and D-Zones is still in a relatively solid health pool where he can stick around. The only issue is now with Old 11 showing up, a beautiful vacuum drag back. They'll try and target down the Lycan next, as I mean, they can just simultaneously kill the Ogre, force away the support to protect the Lycan, and Evan Poyoyo is going to look to get involved as well to buffer up his net worth.
Okay, heavy rotation, but they are able to punish it with the pause coming afterwards. Vici, they didn't even use the living armor throughout all of that, so just being a little bit of a kill-hungry attempt there by DY ends up working out for them, of course, but you know, that's time where the shapeshift is off cooldown anyway, so you're not going to be super harmed by the fact that you went down with the Lycan. By the time he's online, respawned, shapeshift available again. Mid-tower, we can see the pings already starting to come out onto the map about it, and that's probably where RNG are going to look to make their next play.
Do you feel like Vici... Do you think they're at a stage where they can defend this tier 1 tower? Because with any Treant Protector lineup, you don't want to give these over for free.
Sure, but I feel like it's a little harder to defend mid lane relative to the top or bottom side as a treant, right? You've got so many more trees to play with. They're much closer to the tower in my eyes, and you've got a lot more room to walk around in that mid lane relative to the side lanes.
See how
Dire's bottom
they can come
tower
into
is
play.
under
He's
attack.
very close to 6 though. Sorry, to 7. So that treant protector, he's gonna be pretty damn good at protecting these towers.
Dope. All right, so we're seeing at least my first Echo Saber from a Darks here. I'm really excited to see what Old 11 can do with it. Seems like quite the...
Punch, come on.
Dire's
Judo
middle
chop.
tower is under attack.
All right, is he just going to go for a very early Aghanim Shard then?
I guess, but what's the point of having an Echo Saber? It's got a 14-second cooldown.
Dude, Felix. I have to imagine that is all off the back of the reveal of the Echo there. I'm not sure. Ah, yes. All right. Very, very fascinating as RNG. Well, I mean, they're probably laughing themselves into the bank here as, I mean, God King is just freely farming up the map. He hasn't gone for this Monate skill build with a lot more emphasis on the Primal Spring, but at least it's already up to 3 points in the moment, so he will continue to skyrocket in farm, especially once his Battle Fury is completed.
So I just did a quick Google. Apparently that means here we go again. So
Ah.
maybe it's something that they run into each other in a pub about.
These stones?
Getting gone on a bit in this mid lane. Will they get the luck from Lord Gaben? Aren't even going to need it.
They're coming on the backline from Flyby.
Nice Jackal.
See if they can target them through, though. Even PYW looking to block off the retreat. Can he line up? Oh, nice timing with the sentry drop, but unfortunately, though, it puts Wind Ranger as the next target on the chopping block as PYW want to claim it.
Needs welcomes you.
I'm kind of not concerned, but like, Flyby probably didn't need to go to that top side. Like, they
Dire's
TP'd
bottom
back,
tower is under
like I said
attack.
before, when the shapeshift had just come off cooldown. Maybe he wanted to finish up at least the Helm of the Dominator before going for an attempt onto the mid tower, but as a result, they lost a team fight, they didn't take the mid tower, they've only just finished Helm of the Dominator, and they don't have shapeshift. So it's just pushed back the timer like 2 minutes, and that's exactly what you want as this Troll Warlord. I mean, considering how badly the laning stage went from Old 11, he is second on net worth.
Dude, I'm just watching this Darkseid double hit with the Echo. I'm like, very, very
It's the
cool.
left, right, good night.
Yeah, left, right, good night. The karate chops coming through, and well, they at least have offset this push that has taken 0 damage on the tier 1 tower, middle lane at the moment, and Echo being worked on for Ori. Like, honestly, Vici Gaming, if they can get their next set of items in a couple of minutes, then maybe they're at a stage where they can defend mid.
I think they're very capable of doing it now that they've been able to stop off a few of those extra attempts. See the Helm of the Dominator creep. With the Dark Troll Summoner, it's going to do its best to push forward. He's cast the Raised Dead, so the Skelly's going to help with that push, of course. Anytime you've got a Leica, you always want to be buffing up damage in any way that you can, so the Feral Impulse, multiple units, you just get more and more value out of it. Only 400 away from that Helm of the Overlord, though.
Poor old
Even
Felix,
staying to D-Stones. Oh,
right next to the Lycan, is getting brought down here on the outskirts of the positioning. Flyby very close to the Helm, so feel like this is the stage where they might walk down the mid lane then.
yeah, potentially. It depends what creep they get, right? Like, what do they got on the enemy side? They got the Black Dragon there. D-Stones just took away the 14-minute Ancient Black Dragon from the Radiant Tricamp. So hopefully for Flyby, he gets another
Dire's middle
lucky
tower
spawn
is
coming
under
through.
attack.
I think he'd be happy with either the Granite Golem or the Dragon. Oh, the Thunderhide's fine as well.
Alright, Old 11's got treads queued up after the Aghanim Shard. In fact, he's, of course, can't complete the Ag Shard just yet, so why not get the treads beforehand?
Dagger.
I need to see... Is this actually, like... Dude, I'm trying to see the talents again with the Ag Shard. Is this vibe? Like, I mean, obviously, he's
No.
played it before. You're hard on the... I don't know. I'm intrigued to see. I mean, it's... I'm excited to see if this actually works out. This is quite the build.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem too impressed by it.
It's probably because I'm not. I'm just trying to think, like, what can he look to build these things into. I guess you can disassemble and then you can go into the Aghanim Scepter and an Orchid later on. And by the time you finish up the Orchid, you're probably going to have lower, excuse me, BKB duration, so you can get it off
Dire's
after the
middle
fact, or
tower
you can
is
just
under
use it onto
attack.
supports. That's really the only thing that I can think about, is that it's just so much value for money for something like a Darkseer.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
At least for the side of Radiant, even though they're not continuing to try and take these early objectives that Leshrac loves to do so, the economy lead to continuing to favor themselves as D-Stone's working on the BKBs, the next item. Same with God King as well. So finally Flyby is going to look to get involved here with the ancient Granite Golem.
But
And
look at all these boys in the mid lane. Like, they're going to try and take the bot tower in exchange, and well, it is going to happen. But Old 11, he's making his little feet move as fast as he can towards that mid lane. I think it's going to be a little slow in response.
oh, nice shackle.
Dire's middle
Now they don't have a tower for Troll to get involved. It's going to tip into the back line. Overgrowth used early on as, I mean,
Back
Ori's
ball
trying to
coming.
wham fight, but he's not winning it at the moment. It sets up for Old 11 to push through the back. Troll's going to swing in forward as well. D-Stone's falling incredibly low, but they're not going to be able to claim the kill. And meanwhile, the river as well. Ori just brute force charging on forward, but he's got no assistance, so Ori will fall. Now Boyoyo has to pop the battle trance
Locked
just
in
to hope
place.
for the life steal, but there's no escape. And for Vici Gaming, you see, still unable to team fight at the moment. It was a little bit late for everyone to get involved there to formulate a defense and reinforce that tower.
It was, and it meant that the Overgrowth had to come sooner than I'm sure DY was wanting to use it. The ideal scenario is you get the back wall off into the
Dire's middle
Overgrowth
tower
prior to these
is under
BKBs
attack.
being available on RNG, because then you just got to sit there and take it. You know, the
I
illusion
accept
damage,
this
even if you get the Leshrac trying to deal with the wall of replica illusions that are spawning on top of you, it's just going to spawn more because you're locked in place for that 3-4 seconds.
And a bit of a worry considering that was
Dire's top tower
pre-BKB
is under
timing
attack.
on pretty much 3 of the Radiant cores as well, which is
Yeah.
now Lesh is one component and almost completed the second. Bunky King's completed, pretty much completed BKB, and in fact Flyby, he feels like he doesn't need it with the drums into the AC queued up next.
Yeah, it was good positioning from them as well, right? I talked about how, I mean, last game it was Vici's positioning, in how they never had the wrong person sitting on the front line, so that they just got easily picked off first. This time around, RNG, they realized, look, we're playing into a Darkseer, we're playing into a Spirit Breaker. If we spread out, their effectiveness is heavily reduced. Even just like a Treant Protector, a Nexus Assassin, it's the same sort of thing for all of them. They know this Roche is happening, though. The charge was on the Ancient Granite Golem. Will they be able to respond to it? They got the Wall of Replica again. Max everything else out except...
Oh, they
the
called
second
out 11.
wave.
That's such a valuable target here for Vici Gaming's team fight. It's the perfect double.
Yeah, the
Shackles, locking the bug and the key component of the Darkseer. And now they can target down Ori's Spirit Breaker next with the charge on cooldown. It doesn't even matter with the perfect stun lock. And God King will claim the bounty of the fight thanks to the double kill. And back into Roche they go. Just icing on the cake.
Yeah, I feel like words might come back to bite me, but I feel like Vici have kind of missed their timing, you know? Like, they had this period of time where you had all the items that you needed to set up the perfect wombo combo into a fight prior to the BKBs, and they just haven't hit it twice now. So, the fact that they were able to get 2 winning fights, take a mid tower, and take Roche, and continuing to build on this lead is very bad if you're a Vici Gaming fan.
Oh, 9,000 net worth lead, and with the Aegis advantage, I feel like that is just going to further enable RNG to have whatever say they want on the map. We've just seen no real big answer from Vici in the past couple of minutes, and the hope has to be there of a potential wombo combo, but so far it looks like with how RNG have just been able to, you know, out-execute these fights with no key ultis. They're still going to try and take the brawl. Leading on God King, who's got the second life advantage. A
Back
decent
wall coming.
overgrowth. But
Such
where's
a
the extra
long
follow-up?
TP.
It's too far away from Old 11. He's going to try and get involved. Vact only on 2. And now with the Wukong's command drop that just forces Vici to completely zone away from the wall of replica, which is exactly what they want to be fighting on.
Yeah, you could just run away. I mean, well, they're smoking, actually. They're looking to try and make a play onto the backlines, considering they've got the shapeshift available, perhaps? going to be a smoke on smoke, though. So who's going to catch out who?
Poor DY just might be the target.
Oh, no, they're going to loop on back, but how do you fight into this? You know, you've used your overgrowth, you've used a wall of replica. I think maybe just underestimating the amount of time that was on Old 11's TP. I think he was the third to come in, so it took quite a long time for the actual TP to complete. So there was no synergy together with the overgrowth there, and that's a tier 2 tower being taken out at 21 minutes against this Treant Protector. It's a very bad look.
Oh, bottom lane, who are they chasing down now? Oh, Ori. Charge up soon, but they'll just hold the boundless until he charges away. Okay, never mind. Oh, the perfect timing. As soon as he jumps in the tree dance, the charge comes out. You hate to see it. Oh.
Felix has been on point, though, with all these
Oh,
shackles.
yes.
And you can see that's what he's prioritizing. He's going for the shackle shot cooldown. He doesn't even need to worry about the undispellable win run, to be honest. I think he's probably just going to go more into win run on its own, just the ability. Hell, even the focus fire is not even that important because of the amount of burst potential they have with the Monkey, Lycan, and Leshrac, of course, all buffed up by that Bloodlust.
Dude, this ancient Granite Golem with... Uh-oh. Ori dragged back further away from any survivable route as DY just has to TP out the safety of his tier 2 tower. I mean, this is just going to be off the back of Vici somehow being able to formulate an incredible high ground defense, it feels like, because so far they haven't had any answers for the tier 2 tower pushes that are continuing to flow through.
So what were you saying about the Golem, how it's busted that you can have 2,000 HP on a Leshrac and then just essentially get an extra, what is that? 15,
dude, another
no
shackle from Felix. Might be able to get the BKB off with the multi-cast, enabling... No, Puyo actually, in fact, still ulti. Able to fly out, but the Gale Force stopping in any retreat. The wall does nothing, and the rest of the team are doing no damage as well as Vici. They experimented with something in their second game, but I think it's well and truly said that, unfortunately, it did not work out in their favor as RNG. They're knocking on their high grounds now.
They can just stay. I mean, at the very least, you can bait buybacks. You're running a little low on mana on the Leshrac for sure, but Diabolic Edict, that's all you really need to have up online for this. Top tower's exposed as well, so just, you know, move right on back up there.
Ooh, creeps coming shortly. A little bit low on resources from D-Stones, but looks like they really don't care. I mean, they recognize that the wall's on cooldown, and well, the One Punch Man is unfortunately not enough with his itemization.
Wait, is the Two Punch Man now?
He's off the lore or off the anime, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. You're right. I was gonna say the Granite Golem looks. If you've seen him with the Bloodlust, he's a big boy, but dude,
another Gale Force.
So I still cannot get a read on if this shard is actually good or not. It just really looks like a meme. Yeah?
It's good.
Okay.
I mean, you can't run into it. You essentially have to, like, go with the flow. You just run into it, use that super speed burst that you get to try and, you know, it is scary, of course, running exactly into where the enemy team wants you to be. But if you're just running against it, you're kind of running around like a headless chicken.
Well, Vici feels like they've been doing that for a majority of this game. There's this big Granite Golem. Dude, Bloodlust makes him look gigantic. Yes. Like you were saying, just makes the Leshrac have 2,300 health. He's already got BKB used as well to further increase his survivability and into the Bloodstone next. I mean, what do you feel like the probability is right now? Because it's got to be high up there.
95, I would call it.
That's
97. Yeah.
So you don't reckon we'll be seeing the Echo Saber Ag Shard again? Or at least, well, the Ag Shard's good, but I should say the Echo Saber.
Also the mid Spirit Breaker that didn't get anything done with his rotations. Yeah. I mean, it's clearly something that Xiaoba's been doing constantly in his pubs, and I mean, I watch Ori. I watch him play his pubs. He does not play that Spirit Breaker at all.
I was very surprised at, again, how poorly that bottom lane went, like the Darkseer Nyx. Quite often, Nyx is not the greatest support, but you are heavily enabled by someone like a Darkseer. Do they run into Poyoyo? Just lucky about that nighttime. He's still going to run into them as Red Panda. Okay, well, this is a bit awkward. Poyoyo, I mean, maybe can pop a BKB into the last second. Battle Trance as well. Like, who do I target? Maybe I can target God King, Instant Manta to dispel off the right clicks, and now they can go on to me afterwards as well. That is a,
Radiant structures are
yeah, it's a grim one. It's a grim one.
It is call it territory, because maybe they're looking for one fight where they actually get this combo off with the Treant Protector and the Darkseer to see, like, does it work? That's all I can really see here. I mean, he's just reached up onto level 15 on Old 11, so it's going to become a bit easier, I suppose, but it still feels like a lot to ask from the team. As he TP's back, gets ready for the final push up onto this high ground. Oh no, they're even trying to catch the Treant before he's able to get in position.
The Wolves,
they dive in.
Yeah, they are indeed, as God King. He's got no carry in the world. And the issue is the free pathing from DY, so he's out to safety. God King's heavily committed here. Maybe with a normal punch. They're going to block the retreat. That's an incredible vacuum, but there's no answer to the BKBs as God King can reposition. Felix won't have this escape. She's going to end up falling. They've caught up Red Panda too, as the rest of the team, they've already got out of dodge. So unfortunately for the Hoga Magi, will not have the escape like everyone else had.
Again, though, it supports. You got big ultimate usages out of Old 11. Oh, he forced another BKB charge out of the Troll Warlord. He was able to get away that time around, but I mean, it just feels like the inevitable is going to happen, and you're going to get pushed up onto the high ground. The other lanes are already pushed in. You don't have the greatest ways of dealing with it with the Nyx Assassin already. The number of times where Poyoyo has been out of position in... it's not even his fault, right? He needs to be there in these lanes to shove him out, but it just doesn't seem possible, unfortunately.
Just crawling for a way to get back in this game is Vici. But... Alright, so we're seeing the disassemble of the Echo into the BKB completed on Darkseer. So he's now got one Oblivion Staff, and he's opting for a Mage Slayer. Alright, Danog, this is how they do it. Never mind. He's gone back into the Echo. On the Darkseer.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, PYW.
That was the other thing I was considering, but who are you, like... It's based off of your right clicks. And a Darkseer is not hitting many different units.
Dude. Okay, no escape from PYW.
I still think it's a meme.
Yeah, actually, that's okay. He just could not move. Very cool. How long is it for? 3 seconds. That's no joke. A global with a 40-second cooldown. It's a huge AoE as well. It's pretty cool into the Wukongs as well. Like, you just force them to stand. Like, they don't have the greatest crowd control in RNG. I mean, unless Felix gets a shackle on 2 or latching to a tree. But yeah, there's not the easiest way to lock them in the Wukong. So, Gale Force is kind of cool. Still feel like we haven't seen it in its like peak form. Of course, it's been super early, but there could be some really cool drafts with the Gale Force and cool synergies with, like, you know, big team fights or, you know, small
push him into a black hole or something like that.
Yes, you know, small ways to execute even afterwards, like a I don't even know.
I wonder how it combos together with an Enigma shard, you know, because that already starts to suck you in, and then if you've got the Gale Force on top
Double
of
the
that,
speed.
like, is it just I mean, what's stronger, a bit of wind or a black hole?
The gravitational pull from the universe just dragging you in. Yeah, that's a great question. I'm not sure. I feel like the winds cannot compete versus the universe. Well, Vici can't compete at the moment, it looks like, from RNG. Still trying to find whatever little bit of items they can. That they feel like they still have an opportunity in this one. It's probably a very low percentage, but they feel like maybe if they can, you know, get to the stage where a mistake comes out from RNG. The only issue is that a beautiful way to, you know, minimize some of those potential mistakes is just waiting for Roshan, getting the extra life and all the extra components of that Rosh as well. So the Aghanim Shard now on these stones.
Yeah, so now not only do you have the Wukong's command that you can just lay down when you're looking to push that high ground, you can also just pop down the Split Earth, and then, you know, there's basically nowhere that the enemy team can go without popping the BKB to try and defend. At least now you've got it on all the cores, but, I mean, I just want to see this combo come off once. I want to see a Vac Wall into an Overgrowth, which then is just going to get completely cancelled out by 2 BKBs.
Someone on Vici has to disrupt the fight. Like, you're going to need either Spirit Breaker or Troll to start. I feel like Troll doesn't want to force an early BKB. Oh, they almost Okay, well, Ori might also die too. And in fact, God King's just going to continue running on forward. Okay, so that's really not how you want your last high ground defense to fare.
That voice slide is probably the exact one that was useful for this situation.
Oh, old 11. Okay, nice wall. Follow up as well
There's
with
the
the Impale.
combo.
They might kill off God King at
available.
once. Maybe, finally they will. But it's going to cost them multiple heroes as Ori trying to get himself back to safety, but an instant yours to cancel. It's great position with the Overgrowth, but it still doesn't seem like it's enough to keep Ori alive, and definitely not enough to stall out this game as we're going the full distance once again as RNG will tie it up.
Even great just to use together with the Wukong, because it means that even sitting in your fountain, the Gale Force pushes you straight on into it. So yeah, game 3, you were feeling confident. You said, oh, Vici's draft, it's looking easy to execute, but I mean, it's just so much pressure early on, man. Sure, the lanes, I agree, it didn't go anywhere near as well as we might have been expecting, particularly that Darkseer Nyx lane. But yeah, I just felt like you can't go experimenting in playoffs for a hero that you're not even playing mid in pubs on Ori here. I feel like the last pick Spirit Breaker was not the one.
Yeah, I feel like the experimental stage, maybe not there. It still has to be said. I mean, this is a TI team, so yeah, there's a lot of money on the line, but this is definitely the world's their oyster. Especially this tournament is their oyster. They're just trying to work on some things, see what flies, see what doesn't. Or at least this game 2 performance from them. Not what they were looking for, but hey, at least they still got one more game to try and pull it through and knock RNG down to the lower bracket. So now the stage is set for our last match of the night. We're going the distance here with game 3 coming up shortly if RNG take the series or if Vici Gaming will knock them down to the lower bracket. We'll find out soon.